Hey everyone, welcome to the start of a new reading vlog because I've had a terrible month so far. In March, it's been a lot. Been a lot of overthinking things and it's not been fun. It really hasn't. And I have not read a book yet. So I've got quite a few reading vlogs kind of in the work to help me get through books, and this is one of those reading vlogs. So the first book is going to be Aurora Rising by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. It is about this guy who was a captain in like this space program or something. He is late to one of the ceremonies where he can pick the people, like the best of the best people, to go and explore space and stuff like that. He ends up picking like the worst of the worst, the ones that no one wants. I can't remember who they are. And then they go on this intergalactic space journey or something like that. And they come across this woman, this person that is floating in space. I think she's passed out. Her name is Aurora. They bring her onto the ship. I think she has some sort of power that can end a war or start war. I think that's what it's about. And then the book I'm currently reading, because it's nice and short and I can hopefully get it done within a reasonable amount of time, is Stormfront, which is the first book in the Dresden Files, a series by Jim Butcher. My camera battery is flashing at me, so I better make this quick. So it follows Harry Dresden. He is a wizard in Chicago. It's urban fantasy and it's a 17, 18 book series about him being a wizard and dealing with dark supernatural things that are happening. But I think there's like a longer overarching plot, I believe. But yeah, I'm reading this via ebook. I'm 30 pages into it. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's interesting. It tells you a little bit about wizards and like the magic and the council, but it brings it up really casually and it's not info dumped. I don't mind info dump. I actually like info dumps. They don't bother me, but it's brought up nice and casually. Harry Dresden is a bit of a smartass, a bit of a wiseacre, a wisecrack, if you will. But I'm enjoying it. A gruesome murder happened. He's been asked to investigate because it just seems like a little bit too paranormally for the cops. So he was asked to come and investigate and see what's happened. And someone is bribing him not to investigate it, so it's kind of like that. It's like a paranormal fantasy cop show kind of thing, and I'm enjoying it so far. That's all I have to say. I'm pressed for time because of that camera battery, so I'm probably forgetting some things. It's Friday today, so not a good day to start this reading vlog because I just don't really read on the weekends. But this book, Stormfront, seems to be nice and easy for me to come home on the weekends after work and read, so fingers crossed I can actually like get some decent reading done. Look, I finished it. I finished my red combi van last night. Look at her. She looks beautiful. She's absolutely gorgeous. You can open up the doors and see inside. It'll probably come out a bit blurry, so I apologize. There's a steering wheel. You see a little gear shift, and then you'll lift this up and it's like a little hood thing. Then the other side, again, door opens up. Look at it. Look how awesome. Oh my goodness, it took me months to finish this. And then you can open up the other side, and it's got a little kitchen, and there's a chair in there, and there's a sink, and then the back, you can see in through there, and then you can see the engine. Look at that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. She sits up there now with my other one, which that one, the blue one, is the first Lego set I ever did. And then I did like a whole bunch of New York ones. And then I finally got into doing that one. And as for reading, it's still going really good. I'm nearly at the halfway point in Stormfront by Jim Butcher. Still really enjoying it. I don't have too many more thoughts to say or add about it other than it does feel like a typical police investigative drama kind of thing. The death scenes, or the crime scenes I should say, are gory, and the paranormal creatures are definitely monstery, which I'm really, really loving. Like, we saw like a actual physical changing of a vampire, and how like changing from a female skin to like to her a mask, it's called, like her human mask into her actual supernatural creature being a vampire. I still think that this series has like a bigger plot at play, and that is what I have heard about this. I'm assuming it has to do with the White Council. Harry Dresden, our main character, was in trouble with the White Council before, like years back when he was training to be a wizard. He was in really big trouble with them, and honestly, I believe him when he said it was in self-defense, like he had to murder someone, and I believe it was in self-defense. So he's like in a bit of a no-no with the White Council at the moment, and they will pretty much do anything they can to try and frame him for anything. Like, and if he puts a toe out of line, he's gone. The White Council is this council that governs over supernatural and paranormal creatures, or humans, like people that use magic, creatures, all those kinds of things. We're getting a little bit of them. Like, we know one law that they have, like one rule that they have in this council, which is to not kill anyone, like thou shalt not kill. And it kind of correlates back to Harry a little bit, like with what I said. Harry's working like kind of multiple cases, and I don't know if there's like a bit of a connection between the multiple cases. There's different crimes that have happened, like one person, well, two people dying horrific deaths, and another one is gone missing. But I wonder if they're connected. I don't know, I'll have to read more. Weirdly enough, I actually did do some pretty decent-ish reading for a weekend. Like, actually read like around 3 chapters over the weekend, which is pretty good considering I hardly read on the weekend. I'm too tired to read on the weekend. And I feel like I'm reading this book pretty quickly, which is what I was hoping this book would be for me on the weekend, to read it quickly, and it is for me. And today, this is going to sound like a really weird thing, but I'm going to go buy some corn. So when I say buy some corn, it's like a pub snack kind of thing, where the corn is toasted in this kind of like barbecue flavor, and it is delicious. Like, I munch on it if I'm hungry. I have like a little bit of a snack with it. It is delicious. I will show you when I get it. I don't have anything YouTubery to do today, and usually I do on a Monday. The only thing I have to do is start editing this vlog here so that I can get it out on Thursday. I'm hoping to actually finish Stormfront tonight. I really am hoping I can do that. Fingers crossed, because it does feel like a quick read for me. Yes, the chapters are actually pretty decently lengthed, and the chapters themselves have like paragraphs and paragraphs of just in a monologue of just describing a scene for you and just showing you what Harry is going through. And like, there is dialogue that breaks it up in between, but the big chunks of non-dialogue, of just description of just a scene playing out, doesn't feel overly drawn out or overly long to me. It plays like a movie in my head, and I feel like that is what is really helping me read this book pretty quickly. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to, well, first of all, brush my teeth. I do want to do a bit of stretching in the morning, because I'm slowly getting my body into the rhythm of slowly moving and slowly exercising. Then I'm going to go get some coffee, get some corn, come home, do some reading. Well, I do want to do some like language learning. I do want to like learn Italian a little bit when I come back, and then I want to do some really good reading. I have just finished Stormfront by Jim Butcher, and you know, I really enjoyed it. I really did. I'm gonna have to go and look back on Goodreads, but if I remember correctly, I think this book is my first foray into urban fantasy, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It gives you a modern day setting, but just with like a lot of magic, a lot of fantasy in it. I gave it 4 stars. It was action-packed, it was fast-paced. It read like a bit like a movie to me, which I think really helped me with the pacing of it, and I think that's why I read it so quickly. I didn't get to finish it last night. I talked to my parents for like a good hour and a half or so I didn't get a chance to finish it last night, unfortunately, but I did today. I did tonight, like a few minutes ago. I actually like Harry. I don't mind him. There has been some criticism with how he views women and how he can be a bit sexist. There's one word that he said that I was not a fan of at all. But apart from that, I don't mind. Like, it doesn't offend me or insult me in any way with how he views women in like a kind of like a sexual way, because it's no different in a way to how a female character looks at a male character in a fantasy romance. I don't think it is. Maybe it's just because this is written by a male author, Stormfront is. I don't know, like, it does not offend me with how he views women in like a sexual ways some ways, and just how he can be a little bit flirty with some women. That does not offend me at all, because he has shown other emotions apart from lust and being flirty with other women. Like, he can be a bit playful, he can be protective of them in a way, so that doesn't offend me at all. It doesn't insult me. I don't feel like bad about it, except for that one word that he said to a woman that I was like, oh damn, I did not like that. That was completely out of line for me, in my opinion. But apart from that, it's not like it happened a lot. It only happened like a few times, and it felt quick, like it was over with quickly, and it wasn't like a constant thought for him in a way. But that's just my opinion. That's how I saw it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I wasn't offended or anything. I've read books that there's some in particular that I've read worse about. The Diary of an Oxygen Thief and the sequel, like those books. I read those books when I was just starting out in YouTube. No, when I was actually starting to get back into reading, because it was so popular at that time, and I was curious, and I did not like the way that women were written in that book. That was just like a no-no. I'm very, very curious to see how the series of like the Dresden Files series is going to continue. Very, very curious. I don't know if the second one is going to follow a werewolf or not, but it's kind of got me excited because I like werewolves. And yeah, had a really, really good fun time. I think if you like those NCIS, CSI kind of, I believe it's like episodic. Like each book has a different crime scene and like a different murder of the week kind of thing. And I really enjoy it. I like watching those shows from time to time. I rarely watch them, but I do like them. I have watched those kinds of shows before. They are interesting. That's what this book felt like. It was like a fantasy, a crime of the week, kind of like NCIS, CSI kind of thing. It was good fun time. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the paranormal, supernatural creatures. And I thought they were a little bit more out in the open, but I think that's just what my brain was. They are a little bit secretive. Not a lot of people know about them unless you were actually in that society. And there is a bit more to it. And I don't know if that element or that theme is going to have a flow-on effect to other books or in other books. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have anything else to say, I don't think. I think that's all I had to say about it. Really enjoyed it. Very curious to see how this series is going to progress. The next book I'm going to be reading, my iPad is charging at the moment. The next book I'm going to be reading is Aurora Cycle by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. It's a YA sci-fi. I'm hoping it'll be a fast read for me. I will read that book. I don't know when I will update you, if I'm being honest. I've got a busy day tomorrow. I'll see if I can update you tomorrow. So I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Okay everyone, it is about time for me to wrap up this reading vlog now. So it was quite successful, I'm not going to lie. I read Stormfront by Jim Butcher, really enjoyed it. Very curious to see how this series is going to progress and whether or not it does have an overarching plot. And then also I started last night, well, technically the night before, but I didn't really get that much reading done the past 2 nights. But I did start reading Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. The pages that I'm up to, like the chapters that I read, was pretty much setting up the plot where Tyler Jones, who was the main character, well, it actually follows different perspectives. And so he's one of the characters that we are following, but he's the main character in the sense that he is the leader of this squadron, of this team. So the first few chapters that I read, which is pretty much setting up the plot, was him missing out on the draft to pick the best of the best to be in his team, because he himself, which I was incorrect. I thought it was actually him and his team, but it was actually himself that missed his own draft because of his own heroism, because he was rescuing Aurora, who was this person that was unconscious in cryo sleep, and she is on this abandoned, very dangerous spaceship it's a bit of a mess. It went through a lot of shit. He was the one, not the team, he was the one that saved Aurora, and that is why he missed the draft, for him to pick the best of the best. And then, like, the last few chapters that I read was him meeting his new squadron, his new teammates. And oh my god, what a bunch. What a bunch of people. It's giving me Guardians of the Galaxy vibes a little bit, with just the different types of people and characters that you meet. It does give you like a really big long sense of time. Like, a lot of time has gone past. We get a little bit of a history into Terrans, who are, I am assuming, people from Earth, or just Earth. So Terrans and Terra, or Terran I think it is Earth and the people on Earth. And then we get space colonies and alien races and even people living in space and all that kind of stuff. Is very, very fascinating. Really enjoying it so far. It feels like it's reading fast. I was just a little bit tired last night, so I was reading a little bit slower. Aurora has some sort of abilities or something. There's something with Aurora, I don't know. There's just, because she's woken up right from her cryo sleep and she's kind of hallucinating, or maybe she does have some sort of powers. Yeah, there's something else about her chapters. It's actually very interesting, because Tyler's best friend and sister have said no to any other person that picked them to be in their team, because their sister, the twin sister, and their best friend want to be with him and his team. So we know those three. We know those three are friends. And then there's 3 more other people that are definite characters. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how all of that is going to play out. Yeah, I'm hoping for a good fun time. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. I will see you in another video. Bye for now.